Hey there, my amazing friends. I'm so glad you're here because today we're diving into something that completely changed my English journey, and it can change yours too. Have you ever sat in your room wishing you could practice English but had no one to talk to? That was me. Just me, my mirror, and a big dream of sounding fluent and confident like a native speaker. It felt silly at first, like, am I really talking to myself right now? But let me tell you something powerful. Speaking English alone at home is not weird, it's genius. It's how I trained my brain to think in English, how I built my confidence, and how I started speaking fluently before I ever had a real conversation. So if you're feeling stuck or shy or just unsure where to start, stay with me. Because in this video, I'm going to show you how to turn your room into your own personal English classroom. No teacher, no pressure, just you and your voice. And trust me, that's more than enough. Let's get started. I was passionate about English, not just for exams or jobs, but because it felt like a gateway to a bigger world. Watching movies, listening to songs, reading books in English made me dream of expressing myself with that same ease.
But there was a catch. I had no one to talk to. I didn't live in an English-speaking country. None of my friends or family spoke English casually. Language exchange partners? Non-existent. Traveling abroad? Far beyond my budget. At first, this felt discouraging. How can you learn to speak a language if you can't practice it with anyone? How do you build fluency when your environment is silent? I believed the lie that said you need someone else to get better at speaking. But inside, I also knew another truth. If I keep waiting for the perfect opportunity, I'll never start. And so, one ordinary evening, I stood in front of my mirror. The room was quiet. My reflection looked back at me curious. I smiled nervously and said, "Hello, my name is Ethan. Nice to meet you."
The words came out slowly. The moment felt awkward, silly even. I laughed at myself right after. But it didn't matter. Because at that moment, I had done something important. I spoke out loud, in English, to myself. For myself. That was the real beginning. After that first mirror moment, a new thought entered my mind. Maybe I don't need a partner to start practicing. Maybe my voice is enough. Think about it. When we learned our first language as children, we didn't start by giving speeches or having long conversations. We started by babbling, repeating sounds, talking to ourselves, listening to others, and slowly forming words. So why not apply the same approach to English? That realization was liberating. I didn't need to move abroad. I didn't need to wait for a native speaker to magically appear. I already had everything I needed. My own voice, a mirror, my willingness to sound silly for a while. From that day, I decided to become my own conversation partner. The next morning, as I brushed my teeth, I whispered to myself, "I am brushing my teeth." While making tea, I said, "I am boiling water." It wasn't fancy, it wasn't fluent, but it was practice. And practice, no matter how small, always leads to growth. I realized that speaking to myself wasn't just a backup plan, it was an effective method. Every sentence I formed, no matter how simple, was a step closer to fluency. Over time, this practice became my personal habit. I wasn't waiting anymore. I was doing it. After breaking through that awkward first step of speaking to myself, I realized something powerful. The best English classroom was already around me, not in fancy apps, not in expensive courses, but in my daily life, my routine, my thoughts, my surroundings. That realization changed everything. One morning, as I was making breakfast, a playful idea crossed my mind. What if I describe everything I'm doing in English? So there I was, standing in my tiny kitchen, narrating my actions like a cooking show host. I am breaking 2 eggs. Now I am whisking them gently. The pan is heating up. I can hear the oil sizzling. It felt strange at first, talking to no one, but soon it became fun. I wasn't just cooking. I was thinking in English, speaking in English, living in English. And that was a game changer.
The magic of simple sentences. Here's a truth most people forget. Fluency doesn't begin with big words. It begins with simple sentences. Think about how children learn their first language. Do they start with complex grammar? No. They hear and repeat small phrases. I'm hungry. It's raining. I want to play. That's exactly what I started doing for myself. While folding clothes, I'd say, I'm folding my t-shirts. This one is my favorite color. While watering plants, the leaves are so green today. They look happy. Every small action became a reason to speak. No scripts, no formal lessons, just real life, in real time, in English. Yes, in the beginning, it feels a little silly. You might think, am I going crazy, talking to myself? But here's a mindset shift that helped me. You're not talking to yourself. You're training your English brain. Just like athletes practice drills and musicians rehearse scales, you are practicing the art of thinking and speaking in English. And the best part? You can pause, repeat, and correct yourself. There's no fear of being judged. Every moment becomes a chance to improve. How my room became my English world. Slowly, I began creating an English-friendly environment. Not with fancy gadgets, just with creativity. Sticky notes everywhere. I labeled objects in my room: mirror, door, window, table. Every time I touched them, I'd say the word aloud. Then I'd make small sentences. I open the door. The window is closed. Thinking in English. Whenever a thought popped into my mind, I'd try to frame it in English. Simple things like, I'm feeling a bit sleepy. I need to finish my homework. Even when I wasn't speaking out loud, I was training my mind to switch from my native language to English. At first, it was slow. I had to pause, translate in my head, and then speak. But with time, those pauses became shorter. One day, I noticed something amazing. A thought came to me directly in English. No translation, no delay. It was small, but it felt like a huge win. A challenge for you. Start your English moments. If you're thinking, how can I apply this? Here's a simple challenge for you. For the next 7 days, pick 3 routine tasks you do every day. For each task, describe your actions in simple English sentences. Don't worry about mistakes. Don't aim for perfection. Just speak. You'll be surprised how much progress you make simply by turning your daily life into English practice. The mirror, my silent teacher, my best audience. Soon, I noticed something interesting. When I spoke in front of the mirror, I became aware of more than just words. How was I moving my hands? Did my face look serious or friendly? Was my tone flat or expressive? These things matter because real communication is not just about vocabulary. It's about how you deliver your message. The mirror helped me see my expressions, gestures, and posture. It was like giving myself real-time feedback. Sometimes I'd go beyond daily routines. I'd use my mirror practice to speak about my dreams and hopes. For example, one day I will travel to London. I want to visit beautiful bookstores and talk to people in English without hesitation. Saying these dreams out loud, seeing myself say them, made them feel more real. It wasn't just practice. It became self-motivation. That reflection became a version of me I was working towards. a more confident, fluent speaker.
Practical tips: how you can start mirror practice. If you're thinking, okay, but how do I actually do this? Here's how you can begin. 1. Start with self-introduction. Stand in front of your mirror and introduce yourself. Name, where you're from, what you like. 2. Talk about your day. Pick one simple thing that happened today and explain it. Don't worry about making it interesting. Focus on speaking clearly. 3. Express your thoughts or feelings. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Tired? Excited? Talk about it. 4. Watch your expression and tone. Are you smiling? Are you using your hands? Try to be more natural. 5. Set a timer. Start with just 3 to 5 minutes. It's not about length, it's about consistency. Challenge for you: mirror talks for 7 days. For the next week, spend 5 minutes daily speaking in front of the mirror. No scripts, no fear. Just talk to yourself like you would talk to a friend. By day 7, you'll feel the difference. Not in flawless grammar, but in your comfort level. And that's where true fluency begins. Shadowing. Want to learn to sound natural? Now I had built the habit of speaking to myself, describing my daily life and talking to the mirror. I felt more comfortable speaking, but there was one thing missing. I still didn't sound like a fluent speaker. My sentences were basic, my rhythm felt robotic, my pronunciation was okay, but not smooth. In short, I wasn't flowing yet. That's when I discovered a technique that became a total game changer: shadowing. What is shadowing? If you've never heard of it, shadowing is like this. You listen to a native English speaker and try to repeat exactly what they say in real time. You're like their echo, their shadow, copying their pronunciation, their tone, their speed, even their pauses and emotions. It's not about understanding every word at first. It's about training your mouth, your ears, and your brain to work together. This method helped me go from I know the words to I sound natural when I speak. My first shadowing experience, but first I'm giving you spoiler. It was hilarious. I still remember the first time I tried shadowing. I picked a video of an American vlogger talking about her morning routine. She spoke fast, with lots of expressions and casual phrases. I hit play. She said, "Good morning, guys. Today I woke up feeling super lazy, but you know what? That's okay." I paused, tried to repeat, but my tongue got tangled. I said something like, "Good morning, guys. Today I woke up, feel lazy." It was a mess, but also it was fun. I kept going and repeating. Slowly, I started catching the rhythm, her intonation, her casual style. That was my first taste of shadowing, and I was hooked. How shadowing helped me improve faster. Here's why shadowing worked like magic for me. Real-life phrases. I wasn't memorizing textbook dialogues. I was learning how real people speak in daily life. Pronunciation practice. Repeating after native speakers helped me fix common pronunciation mistakes naturally. Speaking flow. Instead of sounding robotic, I started to flow more like a native speaker, connecting words smoothly. Listening and speaking combined. Shadowing forced me to be an active listener while speaking at the same time. An extra fun twist: shadowing different accents. As I got more confident, I started shadowing different English accents. American vloggers, British interviews, Australian travel videos. At first, they all sounded tricky, but over time, my ear adapted. I wasn't aiming to copy their accent perfectly, just to understand the melody of their speech. This not only improved my listening skills, but also helped me develop my own neutral, clear accent.
Creative solo practice, making English fun when you're all alone. By this point in my journey, I had built up a decent thing, talking to myself. But let's be real, doing the same thing over and over can get boring. And boredom is dangerous. It's the silent killer of consistency. I knew if I wanted to keep improving, I had to keep things interesting, even when practicing alone. That's when I got creative. Instead of searching for more courses or methods, I decided to turn my solo practice into a fun, personal challenge. Let me share with you the little tricks I used. Simple, fun, and super effective. 1. Pretend phone calls. Talking to an imaginary friend. One day, I was pacing around my room, feeling restless. Suddenly, an idea popped into my head. What if I pretend I'm on a phone call? In English. So, I picked up my phone, held it to my ear, and started. "Hey, how are you?" "Oh, really? That's great. I wanted to tell you about this amazing book I'm reading." It felt a bit silly at first, just me, my phone, and my empty room. But guess what? It was also incredibly useful. Pretend phone calls are powerful because they mimic real conversations. You practice greetings, reactions, and casual phrases. You imagine what the other person is saying and respond naturally. You stay in a conversation flow without any script. And since no one else is listening, you're free to experiment, stumble, correct yourself, and keep going. I started doing this daily while walking around, folding laundry, or even just standing by the window. Each imaginary call made me a little more fluent.
2. The voice diary. Speaking your day into words. Writing a diary is nice, but for speaking practice, recording a voice diary is a game changer. Every night before bed, I'd open the voice recorder on my phone and talk for 2 to 3 minutes about my day. Today was a busy day. I had a lot of work, but I managed to finish it. I also watched a funny video that made me laugh. There were no rules, no audience, just me and my thoughts in English. The magic happened when I listened back. I noticed things I never caught while speaking. Repeated filler words like, mispronunciations, flat intonation. But more importantly, I also noticed my improvements. Sentences that came out smoothly, moments when I didn't have to pause to think. That was incredibly motivating. It wasn't about being perfect. It was about creating a daily speaking habit that kept me progressing. Number 3, describe everything around you. Build fluency on the spot. Another trick I used was super simple but very effective, describing random objects and scenes in English. For example, if I was sitting at my desk, I'd start, "This is my wooden desk. On it, there's a laptop, a blue notebook, and a cup of coffee. The coffee smells strong and fresh." Or while looking out the window, "The sky is cloudy today. There's a soft breeze. The trees are swaying gently." Why does this work? Because it forces you to think in English and build sentences quickly. It's also great for expanding vocabulary, but in a natural, contextual way. Not by memorizing random word lists, but by using words in real-life descriptions. Even simple things like, "I'm putting on my shoes," "I'm opening the fridge," "I'm arranging my bookshelf." Number 4, role-playing real-life situations. One of the most practical and fun solo practices I developed was role-playing situations. I'd pretend I was ordering food at a restaurant. "Hi, I'd like to order a sandwich and a coffee, please." Booking a hotel room. "Hello, I'd like to reserve a room for 2 nights from Friday to Sunday." At a job interview. "Thank you for having me. I'm really excited about this opportunity."
The beauty of role-playing is that you prepare yourself for real conversations. Even though you're alone, you're mentally rehearsing how you would speak in those situations. Over time, these practice runs made me feel more confident when facing actual interactions.
Why these creative practices work even when you're alone? You might be thinking, isn't it weird to talk to yourself like this? But here's the truth. Every time you practice speaking, even alone, you're building essential skills. Quick thinking in English, sentence formation, pronunciation and clarity, and confidence in expressing yourself. The more creative you get, the less boring it feels. And the more fun you have, the more likely you are to stay consistent. For me, these solo activities turned my empty room into a lively English playground. Challenge for you. Solo speaking fun week. For the next 7 days, try one creative speaking exercise each day. Day 1, pretend phone call. Day 2, voice diary. Day 3, describe your surroundings. Day 4, role play a restaurant scene. Day 5, act out a dialogue with yourself. Day 6, narrate your routine aloud. Day 7, free talk for 3 minutes non-stop.
The real secret to fluency? Small steps, big results. Let me tell you the truth that nobody likes to hear at first. Fluency is not a magic trick. It doesn't come from one perfect lesson, one viral tip, or one speak like a native in 30 days course. Fluency is built from something far simpler and far more powerful. The myth of perfection and how I broke free. In the beginning, I used to obsess over perfection. Was my grammar 100% correct? Did I pronounce every word perfectly? Was my accent good enough? Every time I made a mistake, I'd feel disappointed. Every time I stumbled, I thought, maybe I'm just not good at languages. But here's what I realized. Perfect doesn't exist, but better than yesterday does. Once I let go of the need to be perfect, I gave myself permission to actually enjoy the process. I stopped overthinking and started focusing on what really mattered. Am I speaking more than yesterday? Am I getting a little faster? Am I making fewer pauses? These small victories were worth celebrating, and they built the confidence that no textbook could give me. A message to you, my fellow learner. If you're reading this and thinking, but I'm alone, I don't have anyone to practice with, I want you to know I was exactly where you are. What changed my journey wasn't finding a speaking partner. It wasn't going abroad. It was this simple truth. You are your best speaking partner. You have your voice. You have your thoughts. You have the power to create your own English-speaking world. All you need to do is start, and then keep going. You don't need permission. You don't need perfection. You just need to keep showing up. Your fluency is waiting for you on the other side of your next sentence. Now, go talk to yourself. Your future fluent self will thank you for it.